Hello everyone, I am Casey the Gamer, and it is time for another game review. Today I am covering another incredible Capcom game, and another one of my favorites, Mega Man X3 for the Super Nintendo. Mega Man X3 was released on December 1st, 1995 in Japan, and January 31st, 1996 in North America. In addition to appearing on the Super Nintendo, it would also see a release on the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and PC sometime later. Like the first Mega Man X, I grew up with this one and I love it. I didn't own it at first, but I rented it from Blockbuster a few times and played a lot of it before my parents eventually bought it for me. Mega Man X and Zero are back for another battle against the Mavericks. What new threats await them? What new toys do we get to play with? Let's find out as we dive into Mega Man X3. There are spoilers ahead for the story of the game. The Maverick threat has been stopped thanks to a Reploid scientist named Dr. Doppler. With his neurocomputer, Doppler has been able to suppress any abnormalities and stop the Reploids from going crazy. Many Reploids have gathered near Doppler and created Doppler Town, a so-called utopia. A few months later, the Mavericks who were supposed to have been neutralized suddenly appeared and began attacking. According to information gathered by Maverick Hunter HQ, Dr. Doppler was the one behind the whole thing. Maverick Hunters X and Zero were sent to put a stop to the Mavericks and Dr. Doppler. A few hours later, Maverick Hunter HQ sent out a distress signal stating that they are under attack by the Doppler force. X and Zero return to base and begin battling Mavericks on the outside. Zero tells X to deal with the ones on the inside while he finishes off the ones outside. X heads inside and destroys the Mavericks who stand in his way and encounters Mac, a Maverick Hunter who joined Dr. Doppler. Mac attacks X and immobilizes him. X is captured and taken away with the plan to make him join Doppler as well. Mac teleports away and Zero drops down from the ceiling to go after X. Zero makes his way through the base, destroying every Maverick he sees. Zero confronts Mac and cuts him down effortlessly and frees X. Zero decides to check around the base again and make sure he didn't miss any stragglers, while X heads outside to deal with another huge Maverick, Mao, the Giant. X easily defeats it, and Zero shows up again to let X know that it seems like they have dealt with most of the enemies, but he's going to check around again, and to call him if he's needed. X is then greeted with another 8 Mavericks to contend with. The pattern continues. After X battles and defeats 2 of Dr. Doppler's Mavericks, Dr. Doppler calls for reinforcements. He sends out Bit and Byte, 2 powerful Mavericks to help deal with X. In addition to those 2, Dr. Doppler has also revived Vile. Mysterious Maverick. Totally not Vile at all. The mysterious, totally not Vile Maverick thanks Doppler for the upgrades and states that he has a score to settle. During his next mission, X encounters Bit and manages to kill him. X continues his mission and defeats the next Maverick as well. X does battle with another Maverick and manages to defeat it. In another mission, X finds a teleporter and it takes him to another area. He makes his way through it and finds the mysterious Maverick, who turns out to have been Vile all along. X and Vile fight, and X destroys Vile's ride armor and then manages to kill him. As he's dying, Vile claims that he will haunt X until the day he dies. The place is then set to explode and X makes a mad dash out of there. He reaches another teleporter and is taken back to the original location of his mission. X completes his mission by destroying the Maverick there. 5 Mavericks down and 3 to go. On the next mission, X comes face to face with Byte. Like the others, X absolutely decimates Byte, killing him for good. X then goes and battles the Maverick there, killing it as well. X makes short work of the remaining 2 Mavericks after that. X and Zero then have a talk with Dr. Kane. Dr. Kane says he's examined some of the memory chips of the defeated Mavericks and has learned that Doppler is trying to create an insanely powerful battle body, but that it's not one he'll be able to use himself, and that it must be for someone else. X immediately thinks it's for Sigma, and Zero questions whether or not he could still be alive. Dr. Kane tells them that they have pinpointed Dr. Doppler's secret lab at Point D. X and Zero take off, ready to put a stop to Sigma once and for all. X and Zero storm the secret lab, battling Mavericks along the way. X makes it to the end of the first part and fights the terribly phallic Maverick Prestisposer. After defeating it, the duo progress further into the lab, fighting more Mavericks. Zero takes charge and battles a Maverick, but is damaged in the process. Zero gives X his beam saber to help him in the remainder of the mission. Zero heads back to base for repairs. X presses on and does battle with an aquatic Maverick called Volt Kurigil. X easily defeats it with the use of Zero's beam saber. Further into the lab, X has to deal with the rebuilt versions of the 8 Mavericks from earlier. Another continuing pattern. With all of them defeated again, X finally reaches Dr. Doppler. X and Dr. Doppler have an intense battle. X finally gains the upper hand, and Doppler seems to have come to his senses. Doppler reveals that Sigma is indeed still alive, and his true form is a computer virus. Doppler explains that he was corrupted by Sigma and was made to create a new battle body for him. Doppler tells X that the body is located in the underground hangar of the lab, and that he believes Sigma hasn't interfaced with it yet. He tells X to hurry and destroy the body before it is too late. X makes his way down into the hangar and comes face to face with Sigma once again. Another pattern. So in X1, Sigma had the Jedi Sith thing going on, and in X2, Sigma was channeling Wolverine. In X3, it seems like Sigma is taking cues from Captain America, but he does also bring a flamethrower to the party. X manages to destroy Captain Sigma, but naturally, he's got a second form. Sigma reveals his powerful new battle body. Sigma's new body is practically invincible, with the exception of his head. After being damaged himself, still armed with Zero's beam saber, X manages to damage Sigma enough to destroy his new body. Sigma cries in frustration and decides his only course of action is to possess X. Sigma appears again as the green wireframe head and chases X as the lab fills with lava. X makes a vertical climb, doing his best to avoid Sigma. Once at the top, X encounters a dead end, and Sigma is poised to take his body. Suddenly, Dr. Doppler drops down from above and attacks Sigma with a vaccine for the Sigma virus. Sigma feels his program fading, and Dr. Doppler stays behind as the lab explodes. X teleports outside of the wrecked lab and ponders the usual things he does after a battle with Sigma. Why must Reploids and humans fight? And why must Reploids fight each other? And he wonders the truth about his own destiny. Unknown to him, he is destined to destroy Zero in order to save mankind. But only time will tell when and why. Alright then. Like Mega Man X2, there are some slight differences in the endgame depending on how you battle Bit, Byte, and Vile. If you have their weakness and kill them with it when you encounter them in a stage, they are no longer a threat in the game at all, and you get different bosses. Also, killing Vile allows you to fight the mini-boss as Zero, which leads to X getting his beam saber, which is normally how I play it. But let's say that Bit, Byte, and Vile were not killed with their weaknesses when you fought them earlier. At the end of the first Doppler stage, instead of the phallic Prestisposer, Bit and Byte show up and fuse together into the mighty God Car Machine O Inari. That's a mouthful of a name. Really cool design, one of my favorites actually, but X easily destroys him as well. In the next Doppler stage, instead of Volt Kurigil, X has a rematch with Vile, who is now armed with the Goliath ride armor. X defeats Vile again, and he says that once again he will haunt X till the day he dies, blah blah blah. Now X moves on to the boss rush, beats them, and beats Doppler again. Doppler explains all the Sigma stuff again, and X heads into the hangar. Before heading to Sigma, Zero shows up and says that he's going to go destroy the power generator. X battles Sigma and defeats both forms and runs away from Wireframe Sigma and the lava. This time, Zero shows up and saves X from Sigma. Zero met up with Doppler and got the antivirus program for his beam saber. Sigma's program disappears, the lab explodes, and this time X is joined by Zero on the cliff as he ponders all the things. Mega Man X3 keeps the tried and true formula established in Mega Man X1 and 2, and it adds a couple of new things as well. As expected, you can still run, jump, dash, and shoot your way through all of the levels. Once again, there are 8 heart tanks to increase your max health located in each of the 8 Maverick levels, as well as 4 sub-tanks to store energy to heal yourself, and 4 new armor capsules. First up for the armor set is the leg upgrade. It's weird, it seems standard to get the leg upgrade first in these games. Anyway, the leg upgrade is located in Blizzard Buffalo stage, and it once again allows you to air dash. Not only can you air dash left to right like before, you can now dash directly up in the air. It's nothing crazy, but I like it, and it helps you get certain upgrades or get around certain enemies. Next up is the arm cannon upgrade, located in Neon Tiger's stage. As always, it allows you to charge up boss weapons, and like the Mega Man X2 upgrade, it allows you to store up 2 charge shots that you can fire one after the other, or you can save one. But if you fire them quick enough, the charge shots combine into one giant charge shot. It's pretty cool, but I still prefer the X2 upgrade. The helmet upgrade is located in Tunnel Rhino's stage. After obtaining this upgrade, on the stage select screen, it will tell you what items are located on what stages. Items you don't have are written in pink text. Upon entering a stage, before you can start moving, a map will pop up on screen showing you where the items you're missing are located. I find it most helpful on the stage select screen, showing you which items you have and which ones you don't. I don't mind the map feature once you're in a stage, I just wish I had the option to skip it because it can slow things down. And the final upgrade is the body upgrade, located in Volt Catfish's stage. The body upgrade will reduce your damage by half, and after getting hit, a barrier appears, reducing damage even more for another few seconds. And the armor is complete, another amazing design as well. In addition to the normal armor capsules located in the stages, there are 4 more capsules to discover. These capsules contain enhancement chips, 1 for each of the armor upgrades. The leg chip is located in Toxic Seahorse's stage, and it lets you perform 2 air dashes. So you can air dash horizontally twice or vertically twice, or you can even do 1 air dash to the left or right and then 1 upwards. The arm cannon chip is located in Gravity Beetle's stage. This one will give you the hypercharge ability. You equip it like any other boss weapon and it automatically charges up your buster shots. It does consume ammo, and the only way to refill it is getting hit by enemy projectiles. The helmet chip is located in Blast Hornet stage. The helmet chip will refill your health and your sub-tanks while you stand still. It's probably my favorite of the bunch, it's just super useful. And the body chip is located in Crush Crawfish's stage. The body chip just further decreases the damage you take. Now to the downside. You can only pick 1 of these enhancement chips. Dr. Light says your system just can't handle all 4. So if I were to pick only one, I would probably go with the helmet upgrade. But what if I told you that there was a way to have all 4? It sounds crazy, right? Especially since Dr. Light just said that we couldn't handle them all. Well, here's what you do. Do not take any of the enhancement chips at all. Thanks, Doc, but no thanks. Make it to Doppler Stage 1, have all of the upgrades, and be at full health when you reach a certain area. Slide down and go through the invisible wall, and there will be another capsule. In this capsule, Dr. Light will give you the Hyper Chip, which gives you all of the enhancements, and a new gold paint job for your armor. Definitely worth holding out for this if you ask me. Another addition to Mega Man X3 is having multiple ride armors for you to use. There are 4 in total: the Chimera armor, the Frog armor, the Hawk armor, and the Kangaroo armor. There are platforms scattered throughout the stages that you can use to summon a ride armor. But first you have to collect the modules for them, and you can't use any of the others until you obtain the Chimera ride armor. This one is just your basic ride armor and can be found in Blast Hornet stage. The Frog ride armor can be found in Gravity Beetle stage and is designed for aquatic use. It's not very good on land, but it works really well in the underwater sections. It comes equipped with homing torpedoes that do wonders for destroying enemies, and even the incredibly powerful fans in Toxic Seahorse's level. This is the only one that works underwater. The others will short circuit and explode. The Hawk ride armor can be found in Crush Crawfish's stage. It fires powerful rockets and has the ability to glide. The final ride armor is the Kangaroo ride armor, and it is found in Toxic Seahorse's stage. It's similar to the model from X2 and one of the ones Wily uses in this game. If you hold down the attack button, the spikes start to spin, and once you release the button, it launches the arm out to attack. The ride armors are all really fun to use, and some of them are needed to acquire upgrades. Time to talk about the stages. Mega Man X3 features 13 action-packed stages. The intro stage, the 8 Maverick stages, and the 4 Doppler stages. Like last time, I will describe my journey and then go over the standard boss order. First up is the intro stage. You start as X and you begin the usual dashing and blasting your way through the cannon fodder Mavericks. You come face to face with Mac and get captured. And for the very first time in any Mega Man X game, you take control of Zero to save X. Zero is a bit of a bigger target than X, but he has more health at the start and he does some good damage. Zero is equipped with an arm cannon just like X. It has various levels of charge shots as well. The real action comes when you charge all the way up and you're glowing green. Zero can store 2 charge shots, which can be fired one right after the other, or you can save one for later. And well, after you fire both charge shots, he's still glowing green. That's because Zero is equipped with his Beam Saber. After you fire the 2 shots, the third attack will be a Saber Slash that destroys pretty much anything, like our friend Mac here. With Mac defeated, you take control of X again and battle Mao, the Giant. Another super easy giant opening stage boss. Not quite as easy as the boss in X2, but he also goes down without much of a fight. So for my boss order on this run, it's mostly weakness order with a few exceptions. I started with Blizzard Buffalo. Blizzard Buffalo is weak to Parasitic Bomb, which you get from Blast Hornet. I don't have that yet, but I can beat Blizzard Buffalo Buster only, mostly no problem. After that, it's Toxic Seahorse, who is weak to Frost Shield. Once 2 Mavericks have been beaten, Bit, Byte, and Vile come into play. I went to Tunnel Rhino next and encountered Bit, who is weak to Frost Shield. After beating Bit, I fought Tunnel Rhino, who is weak to Acid Burst. Next up, I went to Neon Tiger and fought him Buster only, because I don't have his weakness. It's Spinning Blade from Crush Crawfish. I then went to Volt Catfish's level and found the teleporter that takes me to Vile. Vile's ride armor is weak to either Parasitic Bomb or Tornado Fang. In this instance, I just used the Buster. After that, I used Ray Splasher from Neon Tiger to kill Vile, which is why I went and fought Neon Tiger when I did. Then we go and beat Volt Catfish with Tornado Fang from Tunnel Rhino. After that, I head to Gravity Beetle stage. There I have to deal with Byte, who is also weak to Tornado Fang. With Byte out of the way, I take on Gravity Beetle, who is weak to Ray Splasher. Armed with all the boss weapons needed to handle the final 2 Mavericks, I could go in any order, but I go to Blast Hornet and absolutely decimate him with the Gravity Well weapon from Gravity Beetle. And finally, I go deal with Crush Crawfish and take him down with Triad Thunder from Volt Catfish. With the 8 Mavericks defeated, it's time for the Doppler stages. Before heading there, I go back and grab any upgrades I missed. I blast my way through Doppler Stage 1, making sure to grab the Hyper Chip to get my gold armor, and then battle the Press Disposer, who is weak to Tornado Fang and Ray Splasher. Next up is Doppler Stage 2. Since Vile is dead, I fight this mini-boss as Zero. After defeating it, Zero is damaged and gives X the Beam Saber. The Beam Saber is incredibly powerful. It grants you another level of charge. After firing your shots, X launches a projectile from the Beam Saber that kills bosses in 2 hits. The next boss is Volt Kuragil, who is weak to Frost Shield or Triad Thunder. It's also really weak to the Beam Saber. The third Doppler stage is the Boss Rush, and all those bosses are weak to their same weaknesses from earlier, but they're also incredibly weak to the Beam Saber. Dr. Doppler is weak to Acid Burst and to the Beam Saber. Now this is a pattern I like. Although with Doppler, be careful. He will throw up a barrier from time to time that will heal him if you try to damage him while it's active. And then finally we have Sigma. First form Sigma is weak to either the Spinning Blade or Frost Shield. Second form is weak to the Charged X-Buster. But guess what? Both forms of Sigma are super weak to the Beam Saber. Goodbye, Sigma, again. So if Bit and Byte are still alive and you have to fight their fusion, God Car Machine O Inari, he's weak to Ray Splasher. And if you have to have your rematch with Vile, he is weak to the same stuff as earlier. And the typical boss order is probably something like this: Blizzard Buffalo, Toxic Seahorse, Tunnel Rhino, Volt Catfish, Crush Crawfish, Neon Tiger, Gravity Beetle, and Blast Hornet. Sometimes Bit or Byte might throw you for a loop. Vile really doesn't because he doesn't show up in the mini-boss rooms like the other two. And at least Bit and Byte don't throw you off the boss order as much as the X-Hunters from Mega Man X2 did. I also really like a lot of the boss weapons in this game. Ray Splasher, Tornado Fang, Triad Thunder, and Spinning Blade being my favorites. Mega Man X3, like the first two, is an incredibly fun time. The only real downside is there's more backtracking involved in this one. It's a bit harder to get everything, or most everything, in a level in one go. But I really love the new additions. I love being able to play as Zero, however limited it may be. After the opening stage, you can summon Zero once per stage to kick some butt. However, he can't fight any bosses or mini-bosses with the exception of the one in Doppler Stage 2, if the proper conditions are met. And also be careful, because if you die as Zero, then that's it. He is out for the rest of the game to get repairs. Imagine how rage-inducing it would be to die against that mini-boss you have to fight as Zero in order to get his beam saber. It would be a shame if that ever happened. It didn't happen to me this run, but it has happened to me before. And it was so annoying. Mega Man X3 once again features absolutely beautiful 16-bit pixel art graphics. All the characters and new Mavericks look so good, and the stages and backgrounds are all gorgeous. I love them all so much. The sound effects are once again on point, and everything sounds awesome. Like I said last time, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. And to no surprise at all, the soundtrack from Mega Man X3 is phenomenal. I think every song in this game is wonderful, but I do have a few favorites, which are the opening stage theme, Zero's new theme, Gravity Beetle, Blast Hornet, Blizzard Buffalo, Crush Crawfish, Dr. Light's theme, Vile's theme, Doppler Stage 1, the ending theme, and the credits theme. You know, a few favorites. Or half the soundtrack, whatever. They're all fantastic. If you can't tell, I adore Mega Man X3. As far as I'm concerned, Capcom is 3 for 3 on the Mega Man X series. Like the first game, I have a ton of nostalgia for this one as well because I grew up playing it. And like the first two, I can always put this game on and have a fantastic time. I get hit with big waves of nostalgia every time I play this. I remember how cool I thought all the new bosses were, and I remember how awesome it was playing as Zero for the first time. And then how sad I was when I died as him and lost him for the rest of the game, but hey, you know. And I also remember being so happy when my parents bought me the cartridge in the first place. Just so many good times. I love the Mega Man X series, the good and the bad. It's always been a part of my life, and it makes me really happy getting to talk about the series in these videos. And once again, I absolutely recommend playing this game. It's so good and a fantastic final entry for the Super Nintendo era of Mega Man X. The next Mega Man X adventure will take place on the PlayStation, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you want to see more of me, you can catch me streaming all kinds of stuff over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/CaseyTheGamer91. And you can find the link for that down in the description below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to catch you next time. Peace out. Oh, And at the very end of the game, when X is being chased by Sigma and he runs into a dead end, X says damn, which isn't really a big deal by today's standards, but I remember being surprised seeing a curse word in a game when I was a kid. I'll be damned.